Okay, now I'm gonna admit this is full-on conspiracy territory for me right now. It's just a couple of things are happening surrounding RT that have me just teensy with suspicious. So this whole thing with the transgender RWBY character, like I said, it's got me suspicious. It's got my brain rolling. So here we go. So a couple weeks ago, this character had just been shown on the show, and the voice actor was really ecstatic about it, but for some reason there was supposed to be either this hidden reference or this reference, if you're like me, think that wasn't actually going to be shown in the show, and they just come out and dead name that their character is trans and is the first on-screen trans character for RWBY. And this has caused a bit of a stir up in the fandom, because a lot of people are like, whoa, where the fuck did this come from? Like normal people would. And I understand, you want trans representation and stuff like that. So you want representation. I get that. It's just, when you do that for a random side character that's not going to have any effect on the story, then why bother making them trans, is my point. Okay, remember, this is a storytelling medium. So why aren't you telling your story? I mean, the story for RWBY has already been blown to shit. And I haven't watched the damn show at all. Like, I haven't watched a single episode front to back since Volume 4 ended. So I'm way behind. I don't have the context for a lot of stuff that goes on, but I've been hearing a lot of things that RWBY has been doing with their so-called representation. And I do know that they did fuck up Adam just so they could prop up Bumblebee. And even then, over this entire past year, the DC comics that they've been doing have been actually contradicting what the show says about Bumblebee and about Adam and Blake's relationship, quote unquote. So it's just, I'm thoroughly confused in some aspects, but then there's some aspects like this that come out and I'm like, oh no. Because guess what's happening right now? RT just had their third round of layoffs for this year alone. Okay, remember, they already had a whole bunch of shit going down earlier in the year. I mean, you had the whole Vic Mignogna thing to start off the downward spiral. But then you had people leaving bad user reviews for this job review site. A lot of people are dissatisfied with the work conditions, they're dissatisfied with their work, and they're dissatisfied with the people that are running the show. Then, of course, you had the whole shit with Grey Haddock, and then Matt Hullum's no longer the CEO. Well, he's still the CEO, but he's no longer the president or whatever it was. And he's been replaced, but then there's also some other shady people who are coming in, and then the people who are writing RWBY Volume 7. There's also some shady shit with that one. Like, people are like, oh my god, these writers are horrible. Like, as in their writing is horrible. Not that they're horrible people, I don't know who they are, but Rooster Teeth and RWBY in particular have been in dire straits for quite a bit. And it's, the fact that nobody's really talking about the layoffs right now in the RWBY fandom except for the people who criticize RWBY just makes you wonder, maybe they're covering for something. Okay, and this is where my conspiratorial thing comes in. Why have the voice actor come out 2 weeks after this episode debuted with this specific character that they voice? Why wait until 2 weeks after to dead name them that they're trans? Seems pretty disrespectful irregardless. Alright, now here's my thing. If they were going to make that character trans, you should wait for it to be a surprise. I can understand if you're a voice actor and you're like excited and jitty and you want your things to come on the show, like you're happy and you want to spread your stuff, and you might forget that, oh, they have stuff planned for this character, even though a lot of people are saying this is like a very minor character. But they could, you're happy and you want to spread the joy. But my conspiratorial mind comes in is, well, this is all happening coincidentally around this third line of layoffs. Okay, and Rooster Teeth's, like I said, dire straits. They may be getting folded into HBO Max. Same thing with Crunchyroll. Okay, you already had the shit that started off the year. They're bleeding subscribers on YouTube right now. They're having constant position changes. You know, that's weird. And 2, I'm wondering, within the next few weeks, I might have to watch the show just to see if this happens. But what if there was no plan to make this character trans? Alright, and that's what gets that's what gets the juices flowing in my brain, is what if they weren't actually going to make this character trans and they just threw this out there, or they forced the voice actress to do it to try to get people distracted. It wouldn't be the first time. It wouldn't be the first time. Remember Bumblebee? That whole fucking ship. You know, that disastrous thing that has single-handedly destroyed this fandom. Other than bad storytelling, of course. Okay, I'm a storytelling connoisseur, and the moment that the storytelling just stopped in RWBY, I just backed off. But of course, I have my own other reasons for that too. But I've said that more than enough. So basically, this is a subjective interpretation. I've been having some conversations online as of yesterday. I had a pretty good one where I was just like, look, why didn't they just say this in the show? Why did we have to wait for it to be done outside of the show? Okay, it seems pretty disrespectful. That's my view, is that it's disrespectful to trans people that you're not actually going to tell them, hey, you have representation in our show, but we're not actually going to show it in the show. We're just going to have someone say it outside the show. Show. So, and it's just, like I said, it's just dumb to do that. And like I said, seems pretty sketchy to me. And, you know, there's some examples of where you could do it well, like in Zombieland Saga, there's a trans character in that one. And, you know, if you do it like that one would work. You know, Lily's, you know, actually a transgender character, but they don't care, and they continue to call the character Lily, even though Lily's supposed to be a dude, biologically a dude. Okay, but the main reason people in the RWBY fandom that are still, like, you know, avid watchers of the show, like, are confused by this is just that it's odd that you would reveal that on Twitter, online, you know, where the most cancerous stuff exists, by the way. And they're also doing this coincidentally right around the time that they're having these layoffs. Okay, like I said, you can make your own view of it. Maybe this is genuine. I don't know. But I have a feeling that it's not. You can share in that view or not. But, I mean, you should look into the entire aspect of the situation, alright? I have been making constant Rooster Teeth videos for... When was the last time I made a video about Rooster Teeth? I don't even remember. I'll have to look it up real quick on my phone. It's been a while. It's been... If I can find it before I go insane. Oh, the last video about Rooster Teeth technically was a meme video. 2 of them. Was my Hitler vs. Rooster Teeth series and the Halo 3 trailer, but Vic Mignogna's the Master Chief thing. That was not even really technically Rooster Teeth. That was just the Vic Mignogna situation. So the last video I made about stuff was RWBY, and it was about Barbara Dunkelman being a dick to Floof. And you know she's a dick. She's a dick. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She likes to act like an asshole. She's a hypocrite. Alright, I haven't made a video in a while. Alright, and I thought maybe, I wouldn't have to make one unless they start dying. And they are dying. And I've been keeping close tabs through IE Clownfish TV. They've been doing pretty good, monitoring what Rooster Teeth has been going through, how shit they've been over the last few years. It's a disaster right now. It's a disaster area behind closed doors over there. It's been that way since Monty's death. In fact, I even think it was before Monty's death that was really bad. Or at least it was getting to the point where it was really bad, because remember, Monty was planning to go to LA to get away from RT Texas, because RT Texas is where the main stuff is centered, and that's where they're the most restrictive. Whereas if he went to Los Angeles, he could basically do whatever the fuck he wanted to, and they wouldn't be trying to kill him for it. So, you know, like I said, it's just a conspiracy. That's in my mind. That's just a little conspiracy video. But it still bears some mentioning. Okay, because you can make a trans character organically. I'm not saying that you can't have a trans character. Nobody's saying that at this point. Unless they're actually transphobic or, you know, that stuff. But even then, people have their reasons for that. And it's not necessarily through hatred of trans people. It's just, RWBY's supposed to be a kid show. Or at least it has the tone of a kid show. They don't really play it like a kid show sometimes, but that's what it's played like most of all. And, you know, kids watch it. Some people don't want their kids watching that type of stuff in their shows, or at least having that stuff mentioned, because they have perfectly valid reasons for doing so. And if you say they don't, you're a fucking asshole. Okay, trans issues are a really hot debacle. Not only is it a hot debacle, it's a horrible thing to go through. Gender dysphoria and all that stuff, like the huge mental problems that can cause a person to go through. It's insane. You know, a lot of people today, there's a lot of fear of this type of stuff going around, because shit's been going on in the world. Alright, not only that, you have these cases of kids being forced to become trans, like that one guy. Oh man, that reminds me, there was that one dude in Texas who was trying to get his son away, and it worked. He got his son away from his mother, so that way she wouldn't try to make him trans, because she was trying to make him trans. Like that shit, that's what people are afraid of. Okay, I do not take trans issues lightly, nor should you. There's absolutely no reason that people should be trying to fuck with their kids that early. Okay, and that's what people kind of, you know, sometimes irrationally assume. But there are people trying to actively encourage kids to become trans even though they are not trans, even though they don't have gender dysphoria. Okay, kids get rather confused, and they are rather easily influenced. Alright, okay? So, just ending that tangent there. I'm just saying, I get where people are coming from, and they're like, you know, what does it really matter for the story? But considering the shit that's going on, not only in the world today, but also with Rooster Teeth as a company, I just find this whole thing rather suspicious. And you could agree or disagree, but find out what you will, okay? My whole thing is that when you're talking about this stuff, it should not be handled like a hand wave. It should not be hand waved that, oh, this character is trans out of nowhere. You shouldn't do that. You should make it work organically. If you're gonna have a gay or trans character in your show, make it work. Make it work with the character of what they are. Don't force it in. That's what people think this is, and they have reasons for thinking that. Okay? We should not be having a giant discussion about whether or not this character being a certain thing actually matters to the story, because ultimately it doesn't, because it's a minor character. And that, once again, just raises my point. Why make the character trans off-screen? Why do that in such a way that makes people like me go, oh, this seems rather suspicious? It just, you know, like I said, it's just an interesting thing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Don't die. I'll see you later. And now it's time to go to